Well, welcome everyone, and welcome back to today's Tune In Tuesday. Today I am here with the wonderfully talented Paul McCarthy. Today in our Tune In Tuesday tips, we will be focusing on a fantastic topic that I think everyone can take away from, and that is 3 ideas to make everything you write more compelling and attention grabbing. How good is that? Well, welcome, Paul. It's great to have you here today.
Thanks, Kira. Great to be with you.
It's
Always a pleasure.
awesome. And when I was promoting this event, I got the tip that you're not only a rock star marketing, but a rock star in the past.
Yeah,
So
an
do you
old
want to,
rocker.
an old rocker. So do you want to tell everyone just a quick introduction of who you are and how you help?
Sure. Well, my business is really focused on helping mission-driven entrepreneurs to get their word out. So to help them amplify their expertise to the world so that they can have more impact, to really learn how to scale their business and have the impact that they want to have. So we work with everyone, whether you are a coach, consultant, speaker, or whether you're an accountant, financial planner, anyone whose goal is to really help advance somebody else's life and they just want to do that mission at a bigger scale, then that's what we help them to do.
That's awesome. And I know it works because I've come along to a one-day program as part of your Marketers Club. So we're so delighted to have you here today, Paul. Thanks for joining us. And so why don't we get straight on into the tips? So each week I give, myself and my speakers give tips to tune up people's businesses. So this is a great one about how to make your writing more compelling and attention grabbing. So why don't you jump on into tip number 1?
Yeah, so if I can, what I'd say is, as I go into tip number 1, is understanding, I guess, the groundwork for this. And the biggest issue that everybody has when it comes to communicating what they're doing is that many people have fallen into a trap of their misunderstanding of what marketing is really about. And most people are trapped in what I call convincing mode. They're busy trying to talk people into doing business with them, and that simply doesn't work. So we're not going to grab the attention of an audience if our focus is on trying to convince them of our skills and bona fides. They're going to be blind to that message. So to open up a loop in somebody's mind, to get their attention, is to apply these 3 principles. And these are the 3 principles that any copywriter would use to enhance the copy that they're producing. So from your listeners' point of view and your viewers' point of view, they can apply these strategies to anything and everything that they're writing, from their websites, their blogs, their social posts, their emails, anything you like to think about, they can use these. So the model is called PAS, P-A-S. So the P in the model stands for problem. So as a marketer, your first job, your responsibility, is to identify really clearly what is the problem or problems that are irritating your audience. What's on their mind? What are they trying to solve? And your first launch point of any piece of communication is to start by voicing that problem, by talking about that thing, because that's the thing your audience is interested in. That's the thing that will grab their attention, that will open a loop in their mind to go, I'm looking for a way to solve that issue. You've got my attention. So that's our starting point.
That's so good. I love that concept of opening up the loop in their mind. It's like, what's the next step that they could be, that they want to take, or that perhaps that they might want to try and find out more about. So it sort of intrigues them and draws them in. That's good. And hasn't the problem also shifted right now during COVID?
That's right. So we've got to be really sensitive, aware, pay attention to our audience. I mean, I'm sure that you, like I meet a lot of clients who tell me that if they get the opportunity to speak to somebody, they often win the business. And one of the reasons is because in that process, they have enough time to begin to truly understand the needs of the buyer and then move from there. But the problem with their marketing is starting in the wrong place. So when we understand the issues that are irritating our audience, that's what's going to first grab their attention. So if you are, been stuck in isolation, as I have down here in Victoria for a long period of time, maybe, I've stacked on weight, and I want to, I'm feeling, poor about myself. The problem is I want to drop my isolation weight. Well, if that conversation starts, then I'm going to go, oh, that they're talking to me. I want to know that answer. So it starts where I am as opposed to where the business is.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. So number one is a bit of a brainstorming session. What's the problem that's irritating? So the friction point for your customer. That's awesome. What's tip number two?
So the A in the PAS model is agitate. So now that we've identified the problem, it's our job to agitate that problem. What we need to do, if you watch a movie, movies are based on the idea that the stakes have to raise. There has to be more at stake. And there comes, in any story, comes the point of an inciting incident, a moment of reckoning where it's if we don't move now, all will be lost. So what we're doing from a marketing point of view is enrolling people into their own transformation. The idea of an object at rest stays at rest. So what we've got to do is get people moving towards it. So we've got to agitate the pain. We've got to make them aware of the consequence of staying where they are and not dealing with this issue, to create the motivation to want to move past it. So our next key focus is the agitation and the true cost of this problem on their lives.
And what is so when you say agitate, I immediately think of what my 8-year-old daughter does to my 4-year-old all the time. Certainly sparks him into action. So what are the things that I guess provoke, which is certainly what my 8-year-old does, what provokes or agitates a customer in terms of copy? What's a good example there?
So if I'm talking about the consequence of something, I can talk about the idea that maybe I'm talking about a customer who their issue was they delayed, they waited, they fell behind, they missed an opportunity, something went past them. The wave had crested and then they started chasing it. So you start to talk to them about and things that are going to have a visceral reaction on people, just as you're talking, the same thing that's happening with your children. When one's irritated, it actually creates a physical response. So they're getting angry, they want to, I'm going to bop you on the head, whatever it is. Well, we are inflaming that, if you like, because what we have to understand is human beings don't move until they feel enough discomfort. So our marketing, is really not about convincing them about it. Our marketing is about helping them to discover, tap into a feeling so that they go, I know that feeling. I've felt that for long enough. So if I say, do you feel like you were here on this earth for a purpose? Do you feel like you're here? Did you come? As a kid, I grew up with this feeling of like a little flame burning inside me that I was here to do something. But then you can say, okay, but have you ever felt like you're sort of in an airplane that just won't land? You can see the destination, the airport, that's where you want to get to, but you never kind of arrive. That feeling of circling around success. Well, what I'm doing from a copy point of view is creating a tension point where people go, yeah, I know that feeling. And now we're saying, do you want to put an end to that? And now we've agitated that sense.
That's so good. And what's the S?
So the S is where most people normally start, at solution. So most people lead with the solution, and that's why most people's marketing falls flat. It doesn't resonate. It requires the audience to burn way too much energy trying to figure out how the solution is going to help them. But when you begin with a problem, you agitate the problem. Now the solution comes as the logical endpoint of a journey. And so we use this formula when we're building sales funnels and series of emails. We use this process in every email. So every email is building that. It's not a email one's all about problem, email two is all about agitating, email three is about the solution. No, this is a formula that's used inside each piece of what you write. But that's the main thing. If people can break the habit of leading with their solution, making it all about them, if we just remember one thing, your responsibility as a marketer is to be the guide, not the hero. We are here to help them. If you're Luke Skywalker, I'm Obi-Wan. And my job is to guide, I'm not going to fight the Death Star. You are, and that's the reality. So the customer is going to do that work. You're just the pathway to enabling that to happen.
I love that. And I love ending with a Star Wars reference. I have all of the Star Wars, or she's actually next to my desk. So remember that, guys. You are Obi-Wan. You are not Skywalker, as a marketer.
It might be you causing the tension with your children, taking the refuge from them.
I know. Beautiful metaphor there. I actually thought they were just so cute, so I had to collect them all. So we've got all of those next to us. So thank you so much for those 3 tips. That's absolute gold, I think, in terms of understanding your client's problem. How do you agitate that through the copy in each piece of content, as well as providing the solution, but not from the I'm the hero, but more that they're the hero, and how you can lead them through that. Now, to the skill of crafting that into something is also where the magic happens. How can people get in touch with you or to work with you to help them through that next stage, to turn that those insights into copy magic?
Yep, sure. Actually, I mean, obviously, everything is about implementation, about taking action. So if people want to go, I mean, the first step, they can go to the website, which is marketersclubacademy.com. There's free resources there. They can download guides, list building guides, email construction guides. So there's a bunch of templates there that they can download for free and get started. If they want to have a strategy call with me, they can book a call and we can talk about where to take their business and how they can start to implement those. But just go to marketersclubacademy.com is the great place to start.
That's so good. And because I know you've just done a copywriting program, so that comes up from time to time as well. So if anyone wants to focus specifically on this, you do run sessions on this as well. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. We'll be opening the doors to a copywriting program again next year, as well as inside our Marketers Lab that will give people access to that training.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming and joining with me today, Paul. You absolutely lived up to your rock star status. Apart from hearing you sing, I think that was where we could have really got our value add.
Yeah, I'll save you for that.
I also wanted to be a pop star, so maybe we could have done a duet. We'll save that for another time, next session. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Paul. It has been fantastic, jam-packed, full of tips. Certainly encourage people to follow up with you afterwards and check you out on your podcast and on all social channels. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we will see you next time for more tips to tune up your business.